Grand Theft Auto the Trilogy. Wait, hold on. There we go. Grand Theft Auto the Trilogy. What a great series of games. I consider them some of the finest and most significant games ever made. I love these games so much that I have them on every platform they're available on, and I've played each of them to death. So when I heard from the many leaks that there's going to be a remaster, I was pretty pumped. As much as I like these games, I'd say there's a lot you could do to bring them up to modern standards, especially with GTA 3. Don't you just love having Liberty City essentially being a death trap by the end of the game? Yeah, probably not the best bit of game design that Rockstar ever did. So you're Rockstar. You're owned by Take-Two, which is worth billions, and you yourself have 10 different studios. You decide that you're going to do some remasters of your most popular franchise, and one that has made you over $10 billion over the course of its lifetime. Do you A, actually put any sort of effort into this at all, or B, fuck everything up so horrifically that you make what is undisputably the worst set of remasters in gaming history? Well, I guess you already know what option they went with. But is the so-called Definitive Edition really as bad as people say? Yes. Yes it is. So instead of calling it the Definitive Edition, I like to call it the Defective Edition. It seems just a little bit more accurate. Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. I just cannot believe the amount of incompetence I'm seeing from Rockstar. It's as if they decided to replace Dan Houser with Andrew Hussey. I can't imagine anyone else making such blatantly wrong decisions. But I guess Rockstar has, found a way. So instead of Rockstar remastering the games themselves, they outsourced development to Grove Street Games. And I guess they weren't up for remastering the games either, because they also outsourced development to, Aliens, it seems. I mean, who else would have such a loose grasp on human language and body proportions? You can't tell me that a human made this texture. It's gotta be Aliens. I mean, just look at these games, they're fucking hideous. Well, the lighting is objectively better, but I find it sort of jarring to have such high quality lighting on PS2 era geometry. Nothing about this art style is cohesive at all. Sometimes they remade textures, other times they AI upscaled them. I don't know about you, but I fucking hate the look of AI upscales. It's not like it ever adds more detail, it just makes everything look smeary. The character models are also a point of contention. The models look like they belong in some sort of early smartphone game. And the animations now just look ridiculous. Like, for example, they modeled actual hands on everyone, but they don't actually ever move them. And this is because no one had detached fingers in the original versions of these games. So you really just can't copy and paste the original animations for everyone. You gotta redo them. But I guess that would require them to try. And that's clearly not what they were aiming for. What Rockstar wanted to do was put the least amount of money or resources towards these remasters. They wanted to just port these 20-year-old games to the Unreal Engine and call it a day. But you just can't do that. Especially when you're charging $60 for it. For one thing, you're taking 20-year-old code and forcing it to work with a modern-day engine. It's not gonna work so well. That's why you see so many bugs with this release. Like here, what happened to the bridge? Did it disappear? Oh, don't worry, it's just invisible. This bridge has the opposite problem. You can see it, but you go right through it. Wonderful. I like how the rain gets obscured by the water. It looks great. Here's a mission in Vice City that you can't even complete. You're supposed to smash these crates, but whoops! They don't have any collision. Did the aliens even play this game? Oh, Carl, you're not looking too good there. Do you have some sort of, bacterial infection? And what's this? Claude's walking on water! I wasn't expecting the second coming of Christ to be Claude's speed, but here we are, I guess. On that same note, CJ can swim in the air, though I'm not sure Jesus ever did that. I think, Moses might have done this one, though. It was such a simple plan. They wanted to celebrate the 20th anniversary of GTA 3 by giving the games a fresh coat of paint. But I don't think you can do this sort of half-assed modernization. It just ends up feeling really bizarre. I really don't see any point in playing the Defective editions ever again. It's not like it's offering me anything different or better. In fact, there's less content because it's missing a lot of the original's music. Also, the version of Vice City that they went with is the Haitian-friendly one. The changes made here make the game utterly baffling.
Now, recently a gang lord died. You disguise yourself and head on down and crash the funeral. Mix it up and then hightail it. You getting this down, Donald?
I mean, it's 20 years later. Do Do you think the Haitian community is still upset over Grand Theft Auto Vice City? Give me the uncensored version, please. The Steam version was Haitian unfriendly and no one was outraged over that, so why is it a problem now? What they should have done is had a full-blown remake. We live in a society where a licensed SpongeBob game has a better remake than Grand Theft Auto. I think the original games are just a little too janky to throw in the Unreal Engine and pretend that's a finished product. You really have to redo everything to bring it up to modern standards. And if you're not going to bring it up to modern standards, then what's the point of this new release? Why not just play the original games again? Well, Rockstar decided that you can't even do that anymore, and took down the original versions from all the online stores. Now later they did retract this, but only because it was so monumentally stupid. I mean, let's think about this logically. So you want to play GTA, but you don't want to get the Defective Edition. Maybe you have a toaster as a computer. Did I mention how terribly these new versions run? I have a GTX 1070 Ti, which isn't top of the line anymore by any means, but I could only get a stable 30 frames per second. Though I have heard that there's still physics glitches whenever you go above that anyway, so you know, whatever. The point is, you want the old versions. And without a digital copy to buy, your choice is either buying a physical copy off eBay or pirating it. Either way, Rockstar isn't seeing any money. They're only playing themselves. I guess they really wanted nothing to compete with the Defective Edition, not even the actual games. That's why they started DMCAing mods, and even decided to sue the people that made fan decomps of GTA 3 and Vice City. And let me tell you, those were much better than this. Frankly, it cracks me up every single time a free fan-made product is vastly superior to a new official release. It happened with Super Mario 64, and now it's happening with GTA as well. Hell, fans are already fixing the Defective Edition. For instance, the aliens, for some reason, decided that San Andreas should have no fog whatsoever. I guess they thought that absolute troglodytes would be impressed that they could see all of San Andreas now. But for one thing, distance fog is kind of a thing in real life, so not having it is actually more unrealistic than the old distance fog could ever be. With fog, you have a sense of distance and scale. Now San Andreas looks like a miniature toy. But don't worry, there's a fan-made mod that fixes it. So I figure, one way or another, fans will make this into an actual definitive edition. But until then, I say stick to the originals. They're classics for a reason. Or buy the Peppa Pig game, cause apparently it's better. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more from me, remember to subscribe and hit that bell. I'm sure you know how it works. Remember to also leave a like or a comment. Or dislike, doesn't matter to me. Anyway, I'll be seeing you.